Welcome everybody to Strangest Species. Once again, I'm your host, Mike Davis, here with the... what's a word besides lovely that I could use?
I don't know.
The amazing,
Ooh.
epic, extravagant.
Ooh, epic ethne, because it's some alliteration.
Yeah, that's what I was going with.
Epic ethne.
Yeah.
I like it.
Welcome everybody. How you doing, babe?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Yeah.
So, we're back again.
Yeah.
Now, currently, you and I are sitting in our little studio.
Mm-hmm.
But when people listen to this, currently, we'll be out in the middle of the ocean somewhere.
Yeah. On our first ever cruise.
On a cruise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we'll be out in the Pacific Ocean, not being able to see any land. We are, right now, as you're listening to this, sitting out in the Pacific Ocean.
We could be ported somewhere in Mexico.
Well, we could be if you didn't listen to it when it was released.
Oh, but
the vast majority of people download it the day they come out.
And listen to it. Okay, so then we will be.
We are scheduled to be.
It's a sea day.
At sea. So I'm hoping to be getting fat right now.
Which I'm pretty good at. Hairdresser was telling me that you just want to keep eating, so you got to keep walking. So you just do things to walk around the ship so that you can keep eating more.
You know, it's funny. I think
it was pretty funny
that I will put a ton of steps in while on the ship.
Trying to find our children, I think, is going to be the biggest thing. I'm going to spend all my time being like, okay, checked in on you, run and check in someone else. I mean, they can't go far, but they still can go far, you know, because the ship is huge. Yeah. So that part I'm a little like just keeping my steps.
I think I'll get lots of steps.
Yeah. I think I'll deliberately try to exercise
and I need to go for a walk after this
anyway,
recording right now.
I just think it'll be so interesting because we've never done this. So for all of you out there that have done cruises, I hope that we do it right. We've been trying to,
Trying to find all the
I was going to say you guys
tricks.
should send in some tips. Send in some tips and tell us what we should or should not do. But we're excited. It was kind of a Christmas gift for our kiddos. So yeah.
So we're pre-recording some episodes.
We are. Yep.
So awesome. We're going to jump right into today's story. And this one, maybe we'll go a little faster today.
Okay.
Because my recording device is a little lower on batteries than normal.
Oh.
And I don't want it to die.
Oh. Is it not plugged in?
It's not plugged in.
Oh, it just is a battery thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the plug-in little port got bent.
Oh, dang it.
And so
it's the story of our lives.
Yeah. So, as always, Ethne has no idea what we're going to talk about today. I barely have any concept of what we're going to talk about today. So we'll see what happens.
This will be interesting.
Just kidding. I know.
Okay.
I know. We're going to talk about Henry Cyril Paget, the 5th Marquess of Anglesey.
Sounds British.
It is.
Just all of that sounds British.
So
I don't even know what a marquette is. And of Anglesey is like a city? Or a what?
I assume so.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's quite the title.
Yeah.
What would my British title be if it was me?
Peasant.
Oh, rude.
Well, I'd be right there with you.
No, I meant I want to be something fancy, Duchess von Liechtenstein.
Well,
wait, isn't that from The Knight's Tale?
Maybe.
Isn't it
Oh, maybe.
Von Liechtenstein.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. But, if you want to be royalty, you just got to submit your application to Sealand.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to do that.
Well, it costs money, so.
No, I mean, I still was going to do it because I want to be royal.
Yeah, you could choose what nobility you want to be in the country of Sealand.
Okay. I have to do that still.
Henry Paget was born to his parents, his father being the 4th Marquess of Anglesey. That's how it works.
I would assume so.
Chronological. He was born in 1875 into a noble family. Now, a Marquess, I'm not that familiar with British.
Lower or higher than a duke?
So, the very astute question. It is almost on par with the duke, but Marquesses were not actually part of the royal family. This was the highest level given to a nobleman, not part of the royal family, I believe. And I could be very wrong, so our British listeners can correct us on that.
Yeah.
But dukes also sometimes took the title Marquess.
Mm-hmm.
So
Confusing.
Yes.
It's confusing.
Either way, really, really rich family with a lot of money.
It's a good way of saying it. That's why I want the title, because it makes me sound, you know, fancy.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're not at all. But we could use a butler. That would be nice.
Ooh.
So he was born in 1875, the oldest child. 100% think Downton Abbey. Like when you visualize what is happening in the world and what the lifestyle, this is Downton Abbey.
Oh, I can relate. I like Downton Abbey.
I actually like Downton Abbey too.
Yeah.
I don't like many shows. But Downton Abbey was all right.
Yeah.
So his mother died when he was a little baby.
Like giving birth to him?
No, he was like 3 or 4.
Okay, so...
And so he grew up in the family's shabby little estate of 30,000 acres. And
wow,
he
that is a
received-
lot.
Yes.
Okay.
So for not being royal or noble
Or whatever.
or whatever, they were doing all right.
Yeah, that's a lot of acreage. So
And he received a private education in his home. And one day, and it was preparing him to one day take over the title and the family's fortunes and blah, 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 all the stuff.
sounds good.
Whatever comes with that.
Okay.
So he did receive, he went off to some school when he was older, received his education. And in 1898, he married his cousin because that's what you did back then.
Like first cousin?
I believe so.
That's a little close for comfort.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
that's how it works.
All right. Sounds good.
And she was super beautiful, and he was very handsome guy.
Okay.
They were a very lovely couple.
Okay.
And Henry was, like I said, she was very, very striking. He was very invested in his appearance, even to the point that he wore makeup to cover any kind of blemish on his skin.
Wow. It's very into looking good.
Yeah.
Okay.
The couple shared a love for lavish things.
Okay.
For example, on their honeymoon in Paris, they bought the entire display window from a jeweler. That's
Jeweler.
all the jewels and jewelry that was in the window.
Wow. That's fancy.
That is fancy.
What's to do what with? Just wear it on?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, this is where he's at in life. Recently married, like very recently married. When he's 23 years old, his father passes away.
Oh.
And he suddenly becomes the 5th Marquess of Anglesey, or whatever I said.
Okay.
Anglesey, yeah. Inherits the family's estate, money. And when I say money, I mean like
Lots.
money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how these monies were set up, like how they paid out to the nobleman.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, he had an annual salary of about $38 million in today's money.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So he went from like just a kid to in charge of all this stuff with, a big bankroll to be playing with.
Dang. That's lots.
So what do you do if you're 23 and all of a sudden you're set up for $38 million a year for the rest of your life?
Well, I'm assuming that $38 million a year goes towards the maintenance of your acreages and your estates and your homes and your servant quarters and your kitchens and your feeding of everybody and your paying of everybody and all the things, right? So you have to sort of know what your overhead is. So, I mean, how much does he get to keep? What's his net after all that?
38 million. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I would buy myself some fun things for sure.
Well, we know he's got a propensity for jewels.
Yeah. So I'm not really a jewel person, but I do have a good friend who loves
gemologist?
jewels. She's a gemologist. She wrote a book called Jeweled. Her name's Tally Nay.
She's written many books.
Speaking of which, we should tell her about this podcast.
Yeah, we should.
She would love it. Anyway, she loves jewels. They're very attractive and the sparkliness. So I would not, if it was me, pick jewels. So
You'd like buy some horses or
yeah, totally.
something.
Well, they probably back in this day already had
Probably
lots of horses. But I mean, I would buy myself a Toyota minivan.
There you go. Oh, exciting.
Oh my gosh. I don't actually know what I would do with it, but I would probably buy a lake property. That's what I would do.
I think he's already got a lake property. Actually, his place is on a lake, so
Well,
part of his 30,000
okay,
acres.
but I'm just saying, you says, what would you do? That's what I would do. But if he already has one, I don't even know what I would do. I don't even know.
It'd be hard to spend $38 million a year.
Gift it? If you have that much and you already have a lake property and whatever, just gift it away to people that needed it.
That would be good. But we're going to learn about what good old Henry does with his money.
I have a feeling that he's going to be like a jewel collector, and then when they find his collection, it's going to be like worth gajillions.
That would be a cool story.
I think that's the story.
So the first thing he does is he drops the charade that his whole life has been up to this point.
I don't know what that means.
No, we don't. And within a few months, his wife leaves him.
Oh my goodness, this is a wild turn of events.
Yes.
What's his charade?
Well, let's first answer the question why she left him. And
Wouldn't that have to do with what his charade is?
yes.
Okay.
So the wedding is annulled over a lack of consummation.
Why have they not consummated yet?
Well, she claims the only time she's ever even been nude in front of him was on their honeymoon. He would want her to wear all of these jewels because he liked to just see the beauty of the jewels on a woman and the shimmeriness and the shininess. But that was the extent.
No consummation, huh?
No consummation. And they were first cousins, so retrospect, maybe that's all right.
Maybe that's why. He was scared.
No, so they did actually stay friends. But he was now free to pursue his real passion in life.
Which is jewels?
It was not jewels, but jewels play a part of it. It was the theater.
Okay. So how did jewels play a part of the theater?
Well, we will talk about this. So,
Okay.
on his beautiful, giant 30,000 acre estate home, obviously there's a chapel because that's what all these places had. So first thing he does, he guts the chapel, remodels it into the Gaiety Theater.
The Gaiety?
Yep.
I like it. Not guillotine.
Nope.
Gaiety.
Like the Happiness Theater.
Okay.
150 seat, beyond ornate theater.
Like with all the jewels in the walls or something?
All sorts of craziness in the walls. Not so much jewels in the walls, but I mean, you can look at pictures. I'll post some pictures of it. Very ornate, very gaudy, beautiful, 150 seat theater. Now, the few little productions I've done were in a 150 seat theater. Oof. Not ornate.
Very not ornate.
Very not ornate, but
we love the theater.
Yeah,
we love
different. So he hires a full theater company.
Okay.
And he begins showing full productions of shows for free in his new theater.
Okay, so he doesn't like to be in the theater and acting. He likes to be watching and entertained by the shows? Or
Oh, great question.
Okay.
He loves to offer free shows to the people, but he loves being the star of the shows.
Oh, gosh. Is he good?
I have no idea if he's good or not.
So there are free shows of him just like doing... Does he write the scripts?
Well, like I said, he's got a full theater company. So they did real shows. They put on...
But he's always the star?
He's always the...
Main character.
Main character with the most elaborate costume.
Okay. This guy sounds like a funny man.
He wore, and I will post some of these, or you can Google them yourself, the most exquisitely ornate, over-the-top costumes of all time.
So he dedicated his whole life to this?
Yep. I mean, he was like David Bowie before David Bowie was around.
Okay.
And he would always perform his signature butterfly dance.
Ooh, I want to see this.
I don't know what the butterfly dance looks like.
Is it as good as Napoleon Dynamite's dance?
It's got to be better.
I mean, the moon dance or the moon boot dance is pretty epic.
When you see the outfits that Henry wore, they beat the tucked in vote for Pedro shirt, even with the moon boots.
But it's more the moves, your dance moves.
Yeah.
That's the question. What is the butterfly?
I don't know, but it was signature. I mean, like the gossip sections of the newspapers all wrote about his butterfly dance.
Wow. This guy's awesome.
Yeah. And you have to remember, this is 1,000,000% Downton Abbey times.
Okay.
So this is the
Pre or post war?
pre-World War One.
Pre-World War One. Okay. Because Downton Abbey
so
takes
like
place
15 years before.
Well, that's fine. It just takes
beginning of
place on
Downton
both
Abbey.
sides. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Right at the turn of the century here. So even a little more proper.
Little more proper.
I believe this is the Edwardian period.
Okay. Like that means anything to me, but okay.
Doesn't mean anything to me either. And so he was literally like, he was Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
and he
that's
looked
what
just like Freddie Mercury.
He's the Freddie Mercury.
He had the
Downton
exact
Abbey
same
times.
stash
Okay.
as Freddie Mercury. And he rocked long hair.
Wow.
And he just did whatever he wanted.
I mean, okay, so can you get fired from being the fifth of whatever, Marquess of whatever? Can you get fired because you just do a bad job or because you sort of lose
His
track?
family hated him, man. Like, they hated that he was squandering all this money.
Okay, that's what I was
But there's
wondering.
nothing to do about it.
So you can't.
There's no firing.
Okay. You can't be like relieved of your position if you suck at it.
Nope. I guess not, because he wasn't.
Okay.
If you hear a dog barking violently in the background, it's because someone's at our door. And Ethne's sneezing.
Sorry. At least it was only 2.
This is true. It's a recording miracle.
Okay.
But yeah, so when you look at the pictures, you'll think, well, that's Freddie Mercury. Like, I bet you, if I believed in reincarnation, that Henry Paget is Freddie Mercury.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, but Henry lacked some basic knowledge of theater, if that makes any sense.
I mean, it makes great sense. But that's why I'm wondering is if he hired a company, I mean, wouldn't they be telling him like, hey, man, you got to, like, here's what you're supposed
They probably did. He probably said, no.
You listen to me. I pay you.
That's right.
Okay.
For example, he didn't understand the concept of stage props.
Oh.
At least when it came with jewels. So all of his costumes had to be made with real jewels.
Oh, perfect. So then someone wants to swipe them.
Well, for example, in one production of Aladdin,
Ooh, I like Aladdin.
his costume cost, in today's dollars, about $1.2 million.
Wow.
Yes.
This guy is legit.
But he left that in the dressing room, and shockingly, someone stole it.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm shocked by that.
I know.
I can't believe anyone would do that.
Jerks.
You just got to leave stuff around that's really worth a lot of money and nobody should touch it.
Nobody. So he may have another one made. Not a biggie.
Gosh. Oh, it was probably his theater crew people. They're like, this guy is a nut job. I'm just going to take his costume and he's not even going to care.
I think you're right.
Okay, perfect.
But it just kind of goes to show how little, money was not, he had no
concept
of it. Just,
Yeah.
it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Money is just this never-ending fountain of
Grows on trees.
elegance and extravagance.
Okay.
So in today's world, I think you have to remember it's really important to stick Downton Abbey. If you haven't seen Downton Abbey, how would you describe Downton Abbey? I mean, very proper, very...
It's a time period piece. What I don't know. Estates and lots of. I mean, how do you?
But people very much conform to the rules of their
social
structure,
structures
society,
and stuff.
Even if you didn't like it, you just did it because that's
right.
the way it was.
Yeah.
And so him doing all of this was just completely spitting in the face
Of all that stuff.
all of that stuff.
Right.
So I mean, he was really quite the character. But if he were alive today, we would very much say he was non-gender specific. He very much enjoyed wearing elaborate gowns.
Okay.
or high heels, or
Yeah.
his characters ranged from
All the things.
things.
Okay.
Sometimes he was in full suits, sometimes he was in gowns, almost always in giant, elaborate headwear of some sort, hats, crazy, ornate crowns. Not crowns like a king's crown, like I don't even know how to describe it. Look it up, man. It's
Headpiece.
crazy. Headpieces. And we have photos of all these because Henry had this really cool habit. For every show he did, he would have a photo taken of him in costume, in character. And he would have like these postcard sort of things made that were given out to all of the audience members.
This guy's really into himself.
He is a raging narcissist.
Yeah. I mean, gosh.
As a keepsake, for his free shows that
people are mostly
came
coming to see out of curiosity.
probably
Like,
trying to steal his costumes.
or no, but literally it would be like, okay, this guy is a piece of work. We have to go watch this. And it's free. So anyone can go.
There's probably like great drinks and food and
Okay. This guy's just amazing here. All
That's
right.
amazing. Mm-hmm. So, after a while, he decides to do what every good showman does. He's got to take his show on the road. He's got to expand his market.
Oh, yes.
Which isn't really a market because you're not getting paid because you're giving it away for free. So he takes his theater company, hires a crew of 50, and they travel around Europe, and the butterfly dance goes on the road.
I don't even know what to say. I literally am like dumbfounded. I just don't know. So he goes on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think he's going to become popular mostly because people are curious about this absurd human.
I think that's why a lot of celebrities become popular.
Sure.
There's probably as many of those as there are people with actual talent.
That's true. You're probably right. I mean, think of American Idol and the, was he from China? The man. Oh, gosh.
Like the very first season, like that guy?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
No, his song was it became popular because it was so bad.
Right. I remember that. I don't remember where it was from.
Oh, dang. Okay.
But so anyway, he takes it on the road.
Wu-Tang, not Wu-Tang.
Definitely not Wu-Tang.
No, but it's like something sounds similar to that. Like the Gangnam Style.
Oh, that's not American Idol.
Oh, what was it?
That's the Korean guy.
Yeah, but it was...
Yeah, not the same person you're thinking of.
Okay, no?
No.
Okay, never mind.
But anyway, so he goes on the road. And lo and behold, you're not going to believe this part of the story. Pretty soon he finds himself in debt.
No.
Yeah. $38 million a year. Meh. But you still are spending it faster than it's coming in.
I mean, the old adage is you always spend what you have, right? Even if you have more, you still spend it and you're still in the same situation you were if you made less, you just spend less.
Oh.
So yeah, he just keeps spending and obviously he's going to eventually get into debt. So this guy's a winner. So what does he do then? Does he actually start charging for his theater?
No one paid for it. Maybe they would. I don't know. He doesn't start charging. One night while performing in, he's not performing. He actually goes to a performance of Sherlock Holmes in London. But while he's gone, he has about $3 million worth of jewels stolen.
Shocking again.
I know.
This guy.
But he's just like, whatever. They didn't slow him down any.
Should
Just
have.
go get some more jewels.
It should have slowed him down.
This is Europe. There's jewels all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just really had no concept of
Anything.
of money.
Yeah. Really anything, actually.
Well, that's probably true. But where money came from, how it works.
Yeah.
So,
definitely not that.
He bought himself lots of yachts. He had some yachts. Yachts are cool.
Mm-hmm.
He had millions of dollars of furs. He was a big fan of fur.
Fur.
This is one of my favorites. He retrofitted his limo so that it looked like the inside of a living room.
I don't know what retrofitted means.
So like he took his limo, gutted it, and had it rebuilt on the inside
To look like
a living room, complete with tables, cabinets, revolving chairs.
Wow. Why? Does he spend that much time in his limo?
Apparently, going from show to show, driving around the countryside.
Yeah. I think I'd do like a bus if it was my choice because I could stand up in it. But maybe they didn't have
I
that
don't know
back
if they
then.
had, buses like that.
Did they even have limos back then?
Well, when I say limo, it's not what you're thinking, like a celebrity stretch limo. It's a really fancy car that got chauffeured around in. But his other cars, this is one of my two favorite things
About
that
this
he
guy?
did, yeah.
Okay.
His other cars were equipped with a device that blew out floral perfumes from the exhaust as they drove.
Why? Why is this your favorite?
Because it would be so pleasant.
You're not behind the car. Other people are.
But you're like passing it forward,
Paying.
paying it forward.
This is your favorite of all of it?
I do love a good floral scent.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Driving down the country road, and you're like, oh, there goes the Marquess. Ah.
Okay.
So
I would
pleasant.
never have even thought about this. So why did he decide to do that?
That's a great question.
I mean, like, what is his brain saying? Like, I want people to smell me?
I don't know. And we'll talk about why we don't know any of these things in a little bit. But we do know that's what he did. And that's just cool. I wish my car... Wouldn't it be fun if you could, like, change the scent of your exhaust? Like, ooh, today's pine scent.
I mean, no, it's dumb.
Teak wood. Mahogany teak wood scent.
It's dumb. I'm sorry.
I think he was onto something.
Okay, well, evidently no one else thought it was a good idea because it's still not a thing. If people really wanted it to be a thing, I think it would be.
Well, maybe now it's going to be a thing.
Okay, you started it.
Yeah. So, back in the day in England, how all the families would go on like big hunts, and they'd have all these hunting hounds.
It was a very like social event.
Yeah. So he got rid of all the hunting hounds.
Why?
And, not his dog of choice.
Okay,
Guess what his dog of choice was?
a beagle,
Nope. Not even that cool.
a Shih Tzu.
Yes. I don't know if it's actually Shih Tzu, but he replaced them with hundreds of small little yappy dogs, little lap dogs,
Oh my gosh,
and poodles, which he had their fur dyed.
miniature poodles
I
running.
don't know if they're miniature or full size, but they're like pink and purple and green.
This guy is an epic piece of work, man. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's like the Wizard of Oz, the horse changes color.
I just can't imagine anyone else in that. I mean, nowadays, you see stuff like that all the time.
Do you? I can't. I'm sorry.
Keep messing my microphone
I'm not
up.
trying to. Okay, there we're all.
But at the turn of the century, this would have been like a trip of all trips to see.
I still think it'd be kind of a little bit of a trip here. Like I would think if that was my neighbor, I would think they were like cuckoo bananas.
Yeah.
Like their dogs are dyed. I would think that's crazy.
Yeah, in and of itself, I guess that's true. But in his world, it just makes sense. If you're gonna have a car that farts out floral scents, you should have a dyed poodle.
Not just one dyed poodle.
Many.
Multiple dyed poodles. All the colors of the rainbow.
But multiple flower farting cars too.
Can't even handle this guy.
Yeah. So anyways, one of his favorite things to do is play ping pong. Who doesn't love a good riveting game of ping pong?
Me.
Oh, well.
Maybe if I was really good at it and I looked like those really good people, maybe. But it would definitely probably still not be my main choice, number one choice.
Henry Paget loved ping pong. So he needed a jacket made for ping pong playing, but he wanted it to be green because obviously, that's the color of the ping pong table.
Oh, yeah.
So he had a jacket made fully encrusted with emeralds.
Oh, my god.
For playing ping pong.
That sounds very uncomfortable.
Your backhand would be, I feel like it would be hindered, but.
I feel like that would be terrible.
Yeah. I don't know. That's what he had.
Mm-hmm.
The special green. But all good things have to come to an end at some time. And for Henry, the thing that came to an end was his money. Because he spent it all.
That's shocking.
On stupid stuff.
I'm shocked by that.
Well, don't be.
Okay.
So in 1904, just 6 years after becoming the 5th Marquess, he was about $60 million in debt.
To who? The bank?
Debtors. And when I say $60 million, that's in today's money. Yeah, all the people he's, the floral exhaust company and the poodle dyeing company and the alligator shoe company.
Yeah. All of those.
All of those things.
The theater company.
The theater company.
Gotcha. Okay.
So.
This guy's special.
So bankruptcy hearings were started. And all of his treasures were auctioned off.
Wonder how much he sold his dyed poodles for.
I don't know. But he sold them. All of them.
Well, the problem is they have to get haircuts, poodles. So unless you don't cut their hair, you're going to have to change their color each, probably month or so, 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's probably what really pushed him over the edge.
Yeah, it's expensive.
I mean, back then, there wouldn't even really be a market for dyeing poodles.
I don't even know how you would do it. Stick them in a bunch of beet juice if you want them purple. And
beet juice might work.
A bunch of kale. Turmeric for orange. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Turmeric. Is that a Canadian American thing?
I don't know. After 17 years, we still find randomly, once or twice a year, a word that we say differently.
Turmeric.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really use it, so I could be wrong in its pronunciation.
I have no idea. Yeah. I'm not claiming that. I just wonder. Okay.
He did have the world's largest collection of one intriguing item. I mean, it's not that intriguing, but when you hear what it is, you're like, why would anyone have that? He had the world's largest collection of walking sticks, but all of their handles were very ornately encrusted with the finest gemstones.
I just feel like this is ridiculous and wasteful.
I hope he liked to walk.
He probably didn't walk at all. Maybe he walked his property. Maybe.
It's 30,000 acres.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot of property.
Mm-hmm.
You have to walk to his flower cars and back.
And to his theater on his property. That's got to be,
Maybe he would butterfly dance to all of his things.
Gosh.
He did have over 200 pairs of shoes.
What on earth? That's
of all of the greatest animals.
I can't even. I mean, you can't.
You only have 2 feet.
I know. I just can't even think about where do you put all those? 1 and 2. How do you make sure you just wear one every day for 200 days and then you restart again?
Well, I'm assuming someone like Henry's changing his clothes 8 times a day.
Oh, maybe this really is
lunch outfit.
The Freddie Mercury of then.
I need the orange alligator shoes for lunch.
Actually, in Downton Abbey, they do change for their okay. There's probably a few changes a day. So
right.
Few reasons for shoes. Okay.
So anyways, all of his stuff's paid or sold off.
Mm-hmm.
He's left destitute. Well, not destitute at all, actually, but none of his things.
But he still has his house, and his property, or did he have to sell that all off too?
That's a good question. Because it stays in the family.
Yeah.
But he's forced to leave. So I don't know how that works.
Good.
I think the estate was put into a trust and he didn't have access to the trust. But all his personal possessions were sold to pay off the debt.
So this is what I'm saying is they kind of kicked him out.
Right. And maybe there were clauses like that. Hey, if you blow all of our money, then
done.
You can get kicked out. So he moved to France, but he still had a yearly salary of about $250,000.
Jeez.
I mean, of today's money.
Mm-hmm. That's wild. That's
so
he
still
money.
did just fine.
Yeah.
I mean, not extravagant enough to throw away costumes worth millions, but
he didn't ever throw them away. They got stolen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's a fair point. So he'd have to be a little more cautious about his clothing.
Just a little.
But for Henry, that's pretty rough.
Mm-hmm.
He's used to it. So he moves to Monte Carlo, moves into a hotel in Monte Carlo.
Mm-hmm.
But he actually ends up dying of tuberculosis the next year. And so the title of Marquess is passed on to his cousin because he has no children of his own, who was absolutely furious with Henry, as is all of the rest of the family, which makes sense because he spent about $500 million in 6 years.
$500 million in 6 years. I can't even. That's so much money.
Think of all the little children you could feed around the world.
Oh, I know. That's what I was thinking. Like, think of all the things you could do for others and humanity and investments. Like,
I mean, I appreciate the floral scented cars.
For sure. I do
feel like
not.
that's something good for humanity.
Oh, stop.
But other than that, he could have done a lot of better things.
Goodness. This is too much.
So,
Yeah.
His cousin immediately tore down the Gaiety Theater.
Well, that's sad.
And restored it to a chapel, which is atrociously more boring than the theater. But maybe a good choice. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good choice. I support the cousin's choice.
Yeah, well, so did the rest of the family, I believe. The sad thing is, they destroyed everything that belonged to Henry. Every letter, every journal, every personal effect that was still in the estate.
Why? They were just so angry? Or is it like embarrassing? They wanted to like get rid of the evidence or something?
Well, I think all of the above. I think they wanted to, I think they were very angry. They were probably angry the entire time. I think they wanted to erase, just pretend like he never happened. Yeah. Kind of like the new Star Wars movies. You know, people just wish they could just erase them. But they can't. So.
That was a jab.
Yep. And so we don't have any. We have the photos of him. We have lots of things written about him. We don't really have anything from him.
That's too bad. I would love to know his inside.
There's a lot of speculation that he was gay. That he was literally like the Freddie Mercury of.
Yeah.
You know, but there's no evidence that he was. When I say there's no evidence, I really mean there's no evidence that he had any lover of any sex ever. Mm-hmm. Now, was that what was in all the letters and journals that they just at the time were like, no way, can't handle this, and got rid of all of it? Maybe, maybe not. There was one famous historian who summed it up as he was just such a raging narcissist that he could never love anyone other than himself.
Maybe so.
And so maybe that's all it was he just was obsessed with money and the pleasure of the world and couldn't care less about
anyone
other
else.
people.
Interesting.
Like I said, his cousin, ex-wife, and he remained friendly. She was actually at his bedside when he died in France and took his body back.
That's good.
So interesting. But the photos are amazing. Like when you see them.
Oh, I can't. I'm sure.
They're great.
Yeah. This is.
But pretty much everything. There was one tiara that he had, that he wore, that did remain in the family, that he had made, that was sold at auction, I think in the 90s. I want to say for like $20 million.
Wow.
Not by the family. It was sold, I don't know by whom. Anyways, but that's really all that's about left besides the photos.
Wow.
From his cool postcard things.
Yeah. I'd like to see his theater. I mean, I would just like to see it.
There's photos of it.
Yeah.
I will show it to you.
Yeah.
It's very ornate.
I'm sure. There's just a lot of curiosity with this human.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was definitely very ahead of his time by 100 years or so.
Yeah, one might say. Where did he get access to all these jewels for real, though?
That's a good question. I don't know what
I just feel like
what the marketplace is for people with lots of money to buy
jewels.
I mean, it's one thing to like go to the jeweler and buy a jewel, but like, hey, I need a ping pong jacket fully encrusted with emeralds.
Yeah.
Where do you come up with that many emeralds?
That's what I was wondering. Like, where do you even, what's your source?
And it's like a jewel Costco.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe in Europe there is a jewel Costco.
Maybe you and I just aren't rich enough. We've never been invited.
Yeah, that's true. It's only for the rich people. Only.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah, I guess so.
But
wow.
Yeah, so that's the story of Henry. Cyril
Henry.
Paget, the 5th Marquess of Anglesey.
Oof, it's a mouthful.
Yeah.
We'll just call him the OG Freddie Mercury.
OG Freddie. In history, he's known as the Dancing Marquess.
Oh, yeah. Acting. It should be acting. The acting Marquess. Oh, but he did the butterfly dance.
The butterfly dance. It's kind of his thing.
It's tricky. That is tricky.
Yeah.
I just like the OG Freddie.
I love Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
One of my favorite vocalists of all time.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, curiouser and curiouser is what keeps coming to my mind because I just keep rolling over it. I'm going to look at the pictures after the.
Yes. And I will post pictures on the Facebook
Okay.
Page as well. Everybody enjoy your week. We're hopefully not throwing up. Hopefully I'm not throwing up right now because I do get seasick.
Oh, seasickness. I was like, don't curse us, please.
Oh, no. Just
for any of you that don't know,
sickness.
we were cursed for many a year. And Mike wrote a book all about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is true.
It's real life.
Maybe one day we'll do an episode
on our real life.
On our real life contents of the book.
That actually would be funny.
It would be.
So,
all right. Well, everyone have a wonderful week. This is a little bit shorter of an episode, but that's okay. You guys are busy. You got things to do. So go get after them.
All right.
All right, everyone. Take care. We will chat with you again next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.